And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Okay, so these are blessings, but they're also prophetic. Okay, so these blessings are describing the son's descendants in our day. Does that make sense? Unless we're not in the last days. But it still would be true. So, 49 and verse 10, we're in the blessing of Judah. And it says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be. So, we've all read this verse. When it talks about the scepter, right, that's a staff, right? And it shows his ruling authority. Well, the Hebrew word there is the Hebrew word Shevet. We sang it today, actually. Shevet achim gam yachad. Right? When brothers dwell together. Shevet, that's that word, dwell. If you jump down with me to 49:16. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. What does this verse have to do with the verse I just read about the scepter and the lawgiver? Well, the word there that's translated tribe, right? Tribes. Obviously, it's in the Hebrew, it's in the plural. But that's the word Shevet. Tribe is Shevet. So some have proposed, and I believe it's accurate, that while the use of Shevet as a staff is true and correct, another acceptable translation of 49:10 could be, the tribe shall not depart from Judah. Meaning, whereas the other tribes were prophesied that they were going to be cast off among the Gentiles and lose their tribal identity and knowing who they are, the Jews were not prophesied to forget who they are, right? They are prophesied they're going to keep their tribal identity. They're not going to forget who they are. They didn't forget, right? Some of them, because there's intermingling, right? So, for example, in Jeremiah's day, right, they take a bunch of them off to Babylon, and then Jeremiah is still there with some of them, and they go to Jeremiah, right, and they're like, hey, what are we supposed to do? And so he goes to Yah, and he tells them, don't, because they're going to go to Egypt, and he tells them, don't go to Egypt, and they're like, that's not what he said, we're going to Egypt. And then they take them, right, and they go to Egypt. Now, from there, a lot of those Jews probably went, right, and maybe some of them forgot that they were Jews, or maybe they didn't, because, there's a lot of African tribes that keep circumcision, and they have a lot of Torah in there, right? Well, they're not the Jews living in Israel. So that's why I say I believe half of the argument. But the prophecies about Judah are not that they're going to get cast off and forget who they are and become not a people and be replaced by somebody else. That's just not what's prophesied.